Hey guys, Travis here on the second day of week one of the summer split of the LCS, joined by Scarra from Dignitas. Hang on, I don't want to. I got to feel at least. There we go. Yeah. All right. Now we're good because I didn't want anybody to think. Either way, how you doing, Scarra?
I'm doing pretty good.
So you've had some interesting games today. Very interesting. So let's start off with the first one. You had the CLG Dig game, longest in LCS history, or so they said. What the hell happened there?
Well, we were had 5K gold, and we tried to do a dragon fight, and we just approached it really badly. Kiwi didn't come down because he didn't think we needed our help. To be honest, we shouldn't have needed help. We should have been able to just fight it 4v4. But I used Q to fish for hit on Karthus, and then QD Bears ultied Karthus, and it was like level 11ish, level 6ish, and typically you want to save your ulti as a reset to be able to escape. And I just decided like, hell, I'm just going to kill Karthus and get a 2-man moonfall on Karthus and Graves because I thought like, hey, we'd win the team fight off that. But what happened was I went in and killed Karthus, and then Graves killed me because there's no way I can get out without a reset. And QD kind of had to be the sole damage in a 3v3, and that was really really bad. And Elise came down and cleaned up, and that was like the beginning of the turn. And the rest of the team fights were just like, oh, it was so bad. We just have a really hard time conceptualizing plays right now. And to be honest, that's the main problem. Had we been able to see plays better, see engages better, like I died mid turn the whole time we were calling for people for like a team fight to happen, and when I died, it just made me look like an idiot. But like, it was supposed to be like an initiation for a team fight because that was like a free ace for us, like a guaranteed ace for us. Or at worst, like we go 3-0 or something like that. And it's just like we couldn't see the plays correctly, like fast enough, and we weren't in position to capitalize on them. And that's why we dragged it out into late game. And we just had a bunch of like bronze level fights. Like it was so horrible. I don't even know what half the people did in those fights because they were just so awful. Yeah. It was so bad. Like I don't even know what to say. Like obviously the game itself might have been very interesting from a spectator perspective, but from my personal perspective and the perspective of CLG, like the game was a clusterfuck, and it shouldn't have ever reached that point. Like it literally made both of our teams like we don't like winning that way. It's horrible. It was just a bad game in general.
All right, so then you had the TSM game, which actually felt kind of quite the opposite. It was pretty open and shut for a lot of it. So what happened in that game to make it so decisive for you guys?
Well, Kiwi played like his best game ever, pretty much. We saw the ban pick order, and we were just like, oh, well, we have an option to do something interesting here. So we let Kiwi play mid against Reggie, and the way Kiwi played mid, like he crushed Reggie into the ground. I was really surprised because I didn't expect it to be that much. And TSM has always notoriously been a team that like if you shut down Reggie and you shut down one of their lane, like they lose, or they go on real hard tilt and they try to force too much they try to go. Because they're only thinking about going in to turning the game around. If you catch them when they try to force too much, like you just slow roll the game. And so we tried to isolate our lanes a lot that game, and we just slow rolled it until we had a huge lead, and we got a free inhib. I honestly, from my perspective, it was a boring game. I laned against York. All I did was look around the map, call for people to go places, and Kiwi was calling for people to go places. Solo killing Reggie, and we just rotated really well that game. It was very slow, very steady. We really never had a chance to lose that game. After like 6-0, even though the goal difference was very low, it was just like the structure of the game and how like our champ picks worked. Their champ picks were horrible. It was just like a terrible team comp that made no sense. And we knew that if we can just get an advantage and snowball it with towers, that they'd get flustered enough to where like we would just win.
You know, historically, I feel at least many would probably say that Reggie has been a problem for you, maybe out of a lot of the other North American mids. Would you say that's fair?
Probably before season 3, yes, I would. But in season 2, like I don't think I've ever. I think I lost to him once, and
I mean, in season 3?
Yeah, in season 3, I lost to him once, and then the rest of the times were just like, TSM typically underperforms against our team. That's what I typically feel. I'm just like, wow, this team. It's hard for me to conceptualize TSM as a #1 team because every time they play us, I'm just like, this team is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand. Like, how do they win games? It's like one game I start 7-0 on Cat, and then we lose the game because Kiwi dives like an inhib turn that we shouldn't have when we were like 7K gold ahead. And another game, like, I'm Diana. We start the game 2-0 because and because we turn a gank and then the game's over. Like it just feels like I don't know. It feels like our games against TSM are just like it doesn't feel like we're playing like the top team in NA, but we are. Like obviously, like their record shows like they're the best team in NA. It's just I don't know. Our games just revolve to be weird games. That's why we have a really contorted view of TSM. Like we think TSM is good, but not unbeatable.
Right.
And I think our record shows that pretty much in both seasons. Like we went 2-2 in the first half, and then like so currently we're 1-0. Hopefully we'll make it a better record than we did last season.
So, just sort of getting back to like the Reggie thing, you saw Kiwi did so well against him. Is that something that you would potentially consider doing more of in the future, just based on how well that went, or was it just sort of like a champion-specific, like situational-specific moment?
It was at that point. It was a champion-specific moment because I play Kazakhs, but I don't know certain matchups. Like I play Kazakhs, and I don't know the Kennen matchup perfectly. Like I don't know what item build to start. And he's played a ton of Kaz. He's probably played like 100 games of Kazakhs. So I knew he knew the matchup, and I knew based on their Yorick pick, I was like, or based on what we could pick from there, his champ pool was really, really, really bad. After they banned out 3 top laners and picked Elise, we kind of were in a position where we had to take like something silly for top lane. I didn't want to do that because it was a really bad pick for the time. So I was like, whatever. Kiwi can go mid. I can go bottom. Also, I'll lane against Dyrus with Diana. I don't think it's that hard. Like I don't know. I played most of the Diana matchups, and I just started double golems to give me an advantage because that's a little bit of a matchup I don't understand. Right. And I knew if I just split even, we'd win the game pretty much. As long as we controlled the other side of the map well, we need to chase their 2v2, and we just executed the game better than, or as we had planned.
Looking at the old top 4, I don't think that people do the top 4, bottom 4 or anything, but I think a lot of people right now are like, okay, Curse had a roster change, they're sort of figuring their stuff out. CLG had a roster change, they're sort of figuring their stuff out. TSM doing pretty well, and then people get to Dig, and they're like, they also somehow are still kind of figuring their stuff out. I think that's sort of the perception with the community. But you guys didn't have a roster change. It was just sort of like a sudden drop in your guys' performance at the end of last season. Where do you think Dignitas is at right now? Do you think it's fair to sort of say that you guys are with CLG and Curse and trying to sort of figure your place out again, or do you think that you guys are maybe undervalued within the community?
I think it's fair to say that we have we've always done pretty well in the laning phase. Like I think most of the games in LCS, most of the games in our scrims, 90%, 80% plus, we're up in the laning phase easily. It's just after laning phase, we have a hard time being able to close out games. And a lot of times before, you quoted me before as saying that like amateur teams. The problem is that like currently, all the teams have gotten better, and so we're not seeing the correct play to make a lot of times, or we're going to the play late, or we're executing the play incorrectly. It's not even about like our team fighting ability. Right now, it doesn't even get to team fights for us. We just like falter right before. And so if we're able to clean up that area, we'll probably be like an excellent team. Yeah. I honestly believe that. But right now, we're just kind of working on it. I honestly think it's fine. If people think we're a bad team, it's like, it's really easy for us to sneak up on teams. And honestly, I like being like the dark horse of tournaments. It's always the role that I would like to be in.
Do you think there's any particular reason why you guys are having a hard time figuring out like how to make the plays or how to get in the right position or whatever? Is it just sort of been in the past you guys were able to, you said all the other teams have gotten better, and so this is sort of an issue you're dealing with now. Do you think that it's just that, like you guys used to be able to rely on your early game success, or, what are the contributing factors that is making this an issue now?
I think we played a lot more our style back in the first split. And then it kind of got figured out kind of near the end of the split. Or not figured out, but we kind of deviated from it because we wanted to be a more well-rounded team. Like, being a one-dimensional team is, like, we don't want to be a team that can only do, like a two-trick pony, like only 3 variants of how we play the game. And so we tried to expand our variants, and right now we're looking pretty bad because of it. I feel like we're still, like, a really solid team, and, like, we can get ahead. Like, I think every single game has started with us in the lead by, like, quite a considerable amount. Like C9, CLG, even TSM game, we were in the lead and we never dropped. Right? Yeah. But I just think it's we're just working on the way to transition that into an actual win. And if we can get that covered, we'll be back to being a top team.
All right, so sort of wrapping up the interview, any shout outs to anything you want to say at the end of it?
I don't know. I feel bad for our fans because Like it sucks to lose. Like it sucks. Like I hate losing. Everyone on my team hates losing. We get into arguments about it all the time, but I hope you guys stick in there with us because we're looking to change a lot of stuff up. Like we have a lot of interesting things coming out. And I hope we can do more intricate strategy. Like what we did against C9 was something we had prepped like the day ahead of time, and I was like, man, this is smart. If only we could have executed past it, we would have looked really good. But yeah, shout out to our fans and our sponsors and anyone else watching at home.
Well, thank you very much for the interview. For everyone, this is Travis on the, let's say, the second day of the first week of the summer split. Got to always get that timeline right. You can check out the rest of our coverage at gamespot.com/LCS.